FAN is the statutory organ of government that is saddled with the responsibility of managing and keeping this airport in Nigeria, making about 22 viable, operational, safe and secure for passenger movement and goods. And this responsibility has been vested on this organization through an act of parliament. And this act does not mention anything about concession. So it is very, very important for the government to know that there is a legal issue as far as concession is concerned. Number two, these four major airports that is being selected for concession are the cash cows of the Federal Airport Authority of Nigeria. Majority of our statutory responsibilities as it affects provision of the required infrastructure, the critical infrastructure that is required to run and manage an airport always comes from the revenue generated from these four major airports. So what we are saying is that if these four major airports are concessioned out, what happens to the remaining 17 airports? It is clear and known fact that ICAO stipulated some regulations whereby for an airport to operate effectively and efficiently, it must have some critical infrastructures in those airports. And for us to maintain these facilities, we need revenues from these four major airports. As it is now, if these four airports are given to a private hand, we might lack the capacity and the finances to maintain the remaining 17 airports. At the same time, maintain the personnel that are required to manage those facilities in those airports, including the ones that are going to be concessioned. That's why we state categorically that it is not fair, it is not good, it is not a people-oriented policy for a government to concession an airport that is been managing 22. Secondly, there is the issue of security. It is a known fact that these four major airports are the nation's gateway. And for a nation that is faced with these current security challenges, vis-a-vis Boko Haram, other security issues in Nigeria, and we are now saying as a government we are concessioning out the major gateways of the country, I don't think it is fair for Nigeria. We cannot control what comes in and goes out of this country if these airports are in private hands. It is a known fact that FAN has about 6,000 and above workforce. FAN manages this personnel, pays their salary, including the pensioners, from the IGR generated from these airports. So when you say you concession these airports, what happened to these personnel? At the same time with their pensioners. There is no any businessman that will come and take these facilities and say he's taking the liabilities of those facilities. It's not possible. And government is crying of lack of money. Where would the government get the money to pay off these workers that are going to be affected by this concession? We've been hearing the minister saying that concession will not affect the workforce. I don't think that is true. And he cannot convince us that it is true. Because no any businessman will take this facility and carry on with the liabilities that are embedded on those facilities.
The International Air Transport Association has rated Nigeria high as an airline cargo operator, having scaled through the IATA operational safety audit. According to industry players, for a cargo carrier to bag an IOSA certification, Nigeria has once more moved to the leading edge of aviation in the world. The IATA Operational Safety Audit Program is an internationally recognized and accepted evaluation system designed to assess the operational management and control systems of an airline in terms of global standards. Medview Airlines has commenced the airlifting of Nigeria pilgrims back home, as over 3,000 pilgrims have already arrived Lagos Kaduna and Kano. The airline airlifted pilgrims from the southwest states of Lagos, Oyo, Ogun, Osun and the south-south, as well as Kaduna. The managing director of Medview, Alhaji Munir Bankole, said that the airline had airlifted over 300,000 pilgrims since it started Hajj operations 10 years ago. While attributing the airline's success in the past decade to a great level of commitment. The African Export-Import Bank, Afrexim, has said it will continue to strengthen its relationship with Arik Air and support the airline in every area possible. The Afrexim Bank president, Dr. Benedict Larama, said this during a visit to Arik Air in Lagos.
To get us off the starting blocks.
Arik Air is a long-standing client of the African Export-Import Bank, and both parties have worked together for several years. At the occasion, the chairman, Arik Air, Sir Joseph Arumeme Kide, said he was glad the bank chose to visit their facility.
Like I always tell people that we have a lot of institutions, financial institutions of Nigeria in Arik. They invested in Arik. You have the US Exim Bank, EDC, you have Afrexim Bank, you have a Bank of CIB of China. So we have of China. So we have all these institutions. So yes, they review all the things, and we give them a summary of what has happened, and they too have their facts and figures. And they knew, and the board appointed themselves with all our operations, the difficulties, challenges, and all the rest. And look at the goals they gave to us to meet. Like you said, the bank is set up to promote intra-African trade, to connect people and goods. And so we've met that extremely well.
We've been working with Arik over so many years, and it's been a mutually rewarding partnership. We've supported the company to acquire some of the aircraft they have, and they have lived up to our expectations. So what we came here to do is to see what they are doing and also listen to them about their future plans.
A 26-year-old British woman, Kate McWilliams, has become one of the world's youngest airplane captains. McWilliams began flying in the Air Cadet at the age of 13 before going on a training program at CTC Aviation in Southampton on her 19th birthday, and then joined EasyJet as a first officer in May 2011. The 26-year-old, a rising star of budget airline EasyJet's crew, has been promoted from first officer to captain, a feat usually achieved by much older pilots. And Qatar Airways has announced it will become the first airline in the world to adopt the new flight tracking recommendations by the International Civil Aviation Organization using a device called Global Beacon. It's the organization's Global Aeronautical Distress Safety System requirement. The recommendations were developed after the loss of a Malaysian flight MH370 2 years ago over the Indian Ocean.